the years, most people have taken it for granted that they can listen to their favorite music while driving in their cars, trucks, and SUVs. This wasn't always the case. Drivers and passengers at one time were forced to listen to what was on the radio. Car record players first appeared as car options in the 1950s, but never caught on because they were expensive, too bulky, and the records wore out quickly, since car record player arms were heavily weighted to keep the needle on the record when the car encountered road imperfections. Fortunately, this all changed in the 1960s. Bill Lear, the founder of the Learjet Corporation, wanted a portable tape cartridge system which he could offer as an interior cabin option on his Learjets. Unlike a record player, a tape system would play a recording with no issues even when an airplane is encountering very bad air turbulence. Lear looked at the possibility of using the newly released 4-track tape cartridge system, which had the ability to play 2 stereo programs. The problem with the 4-track system was it was expensive, and with only being able to play 2 stereo programs, it wasn't suited for playing longer duration recordings. Lear's solution was an 8-track tape cartridge, which had 4 playable stereo programs. The 8-track tape used magnetic tape. The sound quality of the 8-track was not as good as the existing 4-track system, but it was still far superior than the sound of AM and FM radio at the time. The lower quality of the 8-track allowed the tapes to be manufactured for a lower cost than the 4-track tapes, thus making it much more appealing to the customer and the record companies. Even though during the 1960s there were 4-track car players, they really didn't catch on with car owners. The 8-track system was officially introduced in 1964, and it caught on very quickly. Ford was the first to offer an 8-track player as a factory option in a few of its cars for the 1966 model year. Within a few years, it became one of the more popular car options, especially with younger car buyers. Part of the success of the 8-track was that it was also popular with home stereo owners. Reel-to-reel tape systems during the 1950s began to make inroads into the home market for audiophiles. However, they were expensive and required the user to thread the tape to the empty reel every time the tape was played, which wasn't an easy task. With the 8-track system, it was much more compact than the reel-to-reel system, and the tape was enclosed inside a plastic cartridge which protected the tape. All the user had to do was push the tape cartridge into a player to hear music and remove it from the player when done. By the late 1960s, for those who didn't have an 8-track player, it was a reasonably priced purchase to obtain a quality 8-track unit which easily mounted under the dashboard. This was a great solution since it worked with the car's existing AM or AM-FM radio. And for those who wanted to replace a stock AM or AM-FM car radio with a new 8-track unit with a built-in AM-FM tuner, these units were also inexpensive. The cost of buying a music artist or music group 8-track tape album in the late 1960s was $4 to $6, which was very reasonable. The 8-track was a forward-only tape, which would play continuously without stopping until the unit was powered down or the tape cartridge was removed from the unit. This was a great feature for long trips, since you could listen to your favorite album over and over again and not have to touch the 8-track unit. Unfortunately, there was no rewinding of the tape to hear a particular song or a part of a recording over again. You could only jump from one of the 4 stereo programs to another stereo program with a push of a button. However, when jumping from one program to another, the unit would play at the same time frame in the new program where it was at in the previous program. In other words, if the tape was 3 minutes into the first program, when changing programs you would be 3 minutes into the second, third, or fourth program. It's worth noting some high-end 8-track players had repeat and fast-forward capabilities. Another shortfall of the 8-track was some 8-track tapes had music or content that spread across 2 programs, which created a slight pause in the music or content accompanied by an annoying clicking sound of the program change. Even with the flaws of the 8-track system, it remained extremely popular until the early 1980s when the smaller cassette tape technology became the more popular tape media, which caused the 8-track's demise. The 8-track technology was not only a great innovation for the automobile, but it revolutionized the way drivers and passengers listened to music and other recordings in a car. It was the first time that many automobile owners and car occupants could listen to their favorite music or recordings. This was especially important on long car trips through the country, where there were very few radio stations. The car 8-track system was also a catalyst for OEM and aftermarket radio manufacturers to greatly improve sound quality. This push for advancement and the ability to listen to your favorite music or programming paved the way to the highly advanced sound systems in our current cars, trucks, and SUVs. Unfortunately, the 8-track has been forgotten by history, and most 40 years of age and younger have never owned one, listened to one, or even know of its existence. Thank you so much for your support of this channel. Please subscribe, since your support is the reason this channel is a success. And please make sure to click on the bell icon so that you never miss a new video release.